Ted Demme worked his way up from MTV Production Assistant to becoming the biggest director in Hollywood. On January 13, 2002, while playing basketball with friends, the buzzer ran out. Ted had a heart attack and died on the court. He was only 38.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details
That has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death.
In entertainment.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Greetings. Welcome to another Monday, another Death in Entertainment. My name is Kyle Plouffe.
My name is Mark Balcarin.
And I'm Alejandro Dowling.
Woo!
What does it matter if it's Monday?
This guy hates Mondays.
No, but
what do you
why
mean?
remind people that it's Monday?
Oh.
Well, because we release on Monday.
But they could be listening
and
to
we record on Monday, too. Let's not
That's true.
let's not take away
It's
the magic.
live.
It's live.
We're doing it live!
Fuck it.
Ah!
But to the person listening on Friday, they're like, what are you talking about Monday?
Yeah, they're going to feel like they're missing out.
Well, people watch Saturday Night Live on Tuesday sometimes because they fucking record it.
Live from New York. Hey, what the fuck? I'm in Missouri.
It's Saturday night. No, it's
All
not
right.
Saturday night for me, and I'm not in New York.
You son of a bitch.
And I'm not enjoying this show because it's bad also.
Okay, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Jesus Christ.
Or any other day of the week.
Yes. So anyway, what was I talking about?
We should get into a couple quick updates that happened today.
What happened today?
A 9th victim in the Astroworld disaster.
Oof.
Oh my God.
A horrible tragedy keeps getting more horrible.
Yeah.
The body counts are stacking up over there at that
Yeah.
Astroworld. Thanks, Travis Scott, you scoundrel.
We talked about it in our mini-sode a little bit.
Yeah.
But he has a history of inciting these kind of riots at his
Yeah.
shows. The guy wasn't coincidentally paralyzed by being pushed off a balcony at a Travis Scott show.
Yeah.
It happened because it was a Travis Scott show.
That would be like the new, there's suicide by cop, suicide by going to Travis Scott show.
Oh my, you're not kidding.
Suicide by Scott.
Yeah. You have a 95 chance of dying or being maimed if you go there. I
Or
guess.
stabbed with a needle.
Or stabbed with a needle.
Full of opiates.
That's the other news that came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
Why
security
doesn't the
guard.
guy just take his own opiates? Why is he just stabbing random people with
Just-
their
How do you get
drugs?
past security with all that stuff?
So what's the
Needles?
latest on that, the stabbing?
As far as I know, it's still security guards and the actual Houston police have said that there were multiple people stabbed with a needle full of opiates, and all they felt was like a little pinch, and then like turned around like, hey, what the hell? And then just passed out immediately.
Well, you can't pat every single person down coming in there, especially when they're all running directly through the
Breaking
gate.
the
Yeah.
barricades. Yeah. Oh.
Good luck on that.
One of the people was probably like, oh man, I just felt a little prick
Yeah.
in my back. And their friend was like,
That's what she said.
yeah, what do you expect at a Travis Scott show?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Travis Scott is a scumbag
Yeah.
in summation.
On the shit list.
Oh,
Put him
yeah.
on the shit list.
He's on the shit list officially.
There was a report that came out that police and everyone there all had like a code word for a fatality at the concert, which was Smurf.
I heard that.
Yeah, and so these guys came on stage and like, we got multiple Smurfs in the audience, and he's like, hey, get off the stage, and like pushes them away.
So that's what he was whispered in his ear at
Yeah.
that time? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Yeah, there's video of that
man.
too.
Jesus.
The parents that have to hear their kids saying, hey, I'm going to a Travis Scott show. I'll call you later.
Yeah.
There couldn't be a more dangerous activity they could be going to embark on
Right.
Yeah.
than going to the Travis Scott show.
I'd rather
Yeah.
you do heroin.
Yeah. I'd rather you freestyle Mount Everest.
Me and my friends are going to dive down caves. Oh, okay.
As long as Travis isn't there.
Yeah, no Travis Scott music.
Gonna go wander around Harlem
Yeah.
looking for drugs. You're not seeing Travis Scott though, are you? No, Mom.
I'm going to go swim in some battery acid with some friends.
All right, honey, wear your jacket.
Yeah. Don't eat food a half an hour before.
Yeah. You don't want to sink in the battery
Yeah.
acid.
You don't want to get any cramps. You don't want to cramp up.
And Rust. Is there anything new with Rust?
I don't know. Do you know?
Not really.
Well, I heard the last thing was the defense is saying that someone put a magic bullet in there or something. Someone
like JFK.
Yeah, it was a magic. It was all over the place. It zigzagged.
One of the movie crew members sues Alec Baldwin and others involved with production after fatal film set shooting. That's from CNN Today.
Now it's starting.
Yeah. The head of lighting sues Alec Baldwin amongst others.
You got to get him in right away because, I think it goes by when you submitted the lawsuit. Like, it comes at some point, there's only a certain allotted money and it'll be depleted at some point.
Yeah.
That these insurance companies are going to pay out.
Yeah, Serge Svetnoy alleges negligence over bullet that narrowly is this guy. Head of lighting Serge Svetnoy alleges negligence.
What the fuck?
Say it one more time
it?
for the kids.
Serge Svetnoy.
This is my
Nostrovia.
friend Serge Fetnoy. He'll sell you cell phone.
Or break your legs.
Or break your legs, or both.
If that guy is suing you, whoa.
Yeah, he's wearing a leather jacket at court.
He means business.
Pay the man his money. Serge Svetnoy.
Yeah, he's got a packet of Oreos by his side.
Privyet.
There's cologne on his cologne.
He drinks the cologne.
He drinks the cologne.
And now he come for Alec.
There's vitamin D in the cologne. Sorry,
Svetnoy alleges negligence over bullet that narrowly missed him.
He almost got hit?
Apparently, it just missed him and then hit Helena, who was standing next to him.
It dodged Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. He's saying that it's causing him severe emotional distress that will haunt him forever.
Who, Baldwin, right? Or Svetnoy?
Svetnoy says that.
Oh, Svetnoy.
Everyone is saying that, though, at this point about it.
Well, yeah.
So is there anything more to the Rust
Nope, that's about it right now.
story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that it's in like the courts, you're not going to hear, there's a lot of gag orders. You're not going to hear a lot of shit and it's going to take a while.
And has Eladia posted anything?
Oh,
No. Lately?
Wait, yeah. What did she say something again?
I don't know. I don't know if I've heard from her since her Happy Halloween greeting.
Well, Feliz Navidad's right around the corner for her.
Oh,
so
I'm
she
excited
might,
for
she
that
might have
one.
a cooking video or something.
How do you say Christmas tree?
Alec Baldwin takes New York City stroll with Eladia, promotes podcast after rush shooting.
What? You're kidding
Did
me.
he promote our podcast?
Watch Death and Entertainment right now. They're very fair.
Yeah.
These guys got it. Almost 3 weeks after the deadly shooting on the set of Rust, a rough-looking Alec Baldwin has returned to the Big Apple, where he was spotted with his family before he promoted a new episode of his podcast, Here's the Thing.
God.
What is he talking about?
He always
besides
looks
Rust.
He always looks rough, though.
He looks really rough
He
lately.
never not looks rough.
He looks like he finished 10 rounds with Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Face
he's
is all swollen.
But is that for real? How did he promote it? Do they say?
He said, this week we are releasing an episode of Here's the Thing that was recorded this July with Marla Frazee,
Yeah, the world's clamoring to hear that one.
an
Who's
award-winning
that?
children's book author and
Oh my
illustrator.
God.
jeez. See you later.
She's the true talent behind Boss Baby.
The brains behind Boss Baby.
So now he's trying to monetize his podcast, getting people into it, and also brings up Boss Baby so he can get more residuals because he's looking for money. At this point, he's just going to be like, Beetlejuice.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Very good point.
Miami Blues. I'm just going to go back home right now and watch my favorite movie, Miami Blues.
Speaking of Beetlejuice, there was this BuzzFeed list that was in my feed earlier. I didn't mean to say feed twice, but
you did.
I was reading it said like movies that we liked when we were kids but are offensive now, along those lines. And Beetlejuice was one of them.
Oh, my God.
In what way?
He hits on women in the movie Beetlejuice.
But like fake women in that fake little town.
I know.
Wait, was that a real thing though? What paper or what website?
BuzzFeed.
Here we go. This says
Wow.
Refinery 29 did an article on it, and they said Beetlejuice is a creep on a level I hadn't realized at age 12, and particularly offensive in today's Me Too era. Shut the fuck up.
I'm not like Ben Shapiro or anything, but this is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
And the shrunken heads, that's offensive to people with smaller shaped craniums.
Totally, yeah. The smaller cranium community is very up in arms about that movie still.
Yeah.
And they will not be listened to So Here It Is or whatever. Alec Baldwin.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Whatever.
Here's the thing. I
Whatever.
shot someone.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I'm broke.
Okay.
Alejandro, could you take us to January 13th, 2002?
Absolutely.
Pop Culture Flash.
Okay, in books, John Grisham had a new one out at that time called A Painted House.
Ooh, the lesser known Grissom.
He was running out of ideas
Yeah.
by that
B-side.
point.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I did a shady client that
Yeah,
kills himself,
he already burned through the Pelican Brief money.
presidential
Yeah.
conspiracy. How about someone that's repainting their house?
Yeah.
And then we watch the paint dry.
Let's hear that guy's story. Yeah, that's what reading it is like.
The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen was new.
Wait, who's that?
You said that like we should know that book.
You guys are joking.
No.
You think we're like big friends and heads over
He's
here?
considered the preeminent author of the past two generations.
Name name one big book.
A modern day J.D. Salinger, if you will.
Really?
You don't remember any of the hype for Jonathan Franzen.
None.
Oprah put her stamp on it, and it was a huge sensation.
Wait, that's not the guy who wrote that fake book about
No.
that Oprah.
Where she yelled at him?
Yeah.
No, that was James Fry.
Yeah.
A million little
A
pieces.
million little pieces. Yeah.
That's a great piece of media there when she's yelling at him.
Yeah.
That's a lie, James.
Yeah.
When she was just
That was Oprah?
embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's a lie, Jay. That's a lie. And you know it.
Just like Batman.
Yeah. You get a car.
All right. Tough crowd here. Jesus.
Well, you laid it out to us as if it was common knowledge. That we
Yeah.
had known that.
It is.
Or it should be. Okay.
Took Wisconsin by storm.
Yeah.
This guy's a Franz Hard over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A bookie friend over here. Book smart.
It was on everybody's bookshelf.
I can't read, so
Yeah, well, we know that guy.
Kyle, I'm not surprised you didn't
We've addressed that in past podcasts.
know about it. Let's get into music. Let's do 5. Let's be a little
Let's go nuts
crazy.
here, yeah.
Screw
Let's
it.
go.
Number 5 was Hero,
there goes my by Foo Fighters.
Enrique Iglesias.
Oh, God.
I was gonna say Color and the Shape was like 90.
Yeah, that was a couple years before.
It was on the radio all the time, the
All the
Enrique
time.
one. I can be a hero, baby.
Baby.
Yeah.
Women loved him.
Oh, my God. I don't think I've heard that since 2002.
Yeah.
Right?
I go to sleep to it every night.
Okay, well, anyway. I'm not a Iglesias head or anything, so I wouldn't know. Number 4, ubiquitous song here. Get the party started on a Saturday night. Pink. Remember?
Yes.
Number 3, Family Affair by Mary J. Blige.
Oh.
A solid R&B track.
Sly
Yeah.
and Family Stone cover or just kind of in the
No, it's
inspirational-
not.
Okay.
It's not. Good question, though.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
It's a family
Family
affair.
Affair. Yeah, that's a good one.
Classic.
But it's not this one.
Sounds great.
I'm not a Blige head, so I don't really know all the ins and outs. Of...
Yeah. Music stuff.
This is a good song, too, though.
Yeah. I think Mary J did that after all the drama with 9/11 and stuff was
Yeah.
going on. That was a big song.
Enrique Iglesias' Hero was born out of that 9/11
Yeah.
rubble, if you will.
That No More Drama song really solved stuff. We really got over the hump.
Number 1, How You Remind Me, Nickelback.
Oh, God.
Never made it as a wise man. Never made it as a poor man stealing.
See, I see the song when he does the rendition there. You gotta see-
Now, have you seen them live?
No, fuck no.
Oh, you're not a Nickelback fan.
No.
He's hard to predict.
I don't know. I don't know what level of bad music you're gonna like sometimes.
I know. Wild card. I like to
all
keep
over
it that
the
way.
map.
You are a wild card.
Yeah.
Number 5 in movies at the time, The Royal Tenenbaums.
Wow.
Wes
Classic
Anderson's follow-up to Rushmore.
So
Nice.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
When I saw it in the theater at the time, the print stopped in the middle of it,
Oof.
Really?
and the theater went dark. So for like 15 minutes, we're just sitting there. And
Joiking
then
off.
the movie came back on, and I lost interest.
Wow.
I was bored.
You know what happened to me recently? I don't know if I told you this. I went to the French Dispatch like a week or two ago.
Uh-huh.
And then the person there working there, no one gives a shit, obviously, these
Mhm.
days anywhere, and I don't blame them. They told me the wrong theater to go into. And I went into the one that was halfway into the French Dispatch.
Oh,
Didn't even realize it. I was like, wow, this is a really quirky Wes Anderson movie. You're starting on some crazy pacing here.
Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
the beginning and the
Yeah.
end.
no
And then-
exposition
And
whatsoever.
then like 20 minutes later it ends. I was like, wait a second. Is it like a short? Like what is going on with
Yeah.
this new movie?
It's episodic, though, correct?
It is episodic, but then I was like, I was in the middle of an episode and then like the middle one, and then it was just over. And I went out and I'm like, oh, I saw it was on the other side too, on the other theater. So I just kind of went back in. I started the whole fucking process again.
But that's the right movie for that to happen during, I think. It's not like,
Not much overlapping of story. Yeah.
yeah, if you went into
Dune.
Dune, you'd be
Yeah,
very
you'd be
confused.
fucking lost.
Yeah. And number 4, Ocean's 11.
Classic. I like those movies. They don't blow me away, but they're fun.
They exist.
Yeah.
Right?
As
you
we've said
put it.
as we've said in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, Orange County. This
Jack Black.
cemented Jack Black's status as the new comedy star.
Did that? I thought the John Cusack one did.
High Fidelity.
I thought High Fidelity
But did that cement his status?
Maybe-
That
was his
introduced
breakout.
him. Yeah. This showed him like, oh, he's a bankable comedy star because this
Gotcha.
was right after Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal was a disaster. That does not age well. I'm sure there's a BuzzFeed article about that.
It's one big fat joke.
Yeah. And George Alexander or whatever.
Jason Alexander.
George Costanza Alexander.
Larry David, whatever.
Yeah, making fun of his hair and stuff. Yeah.
And he has a tail at the end.
Yeah.
It's number 2 on the list of BuzzFeed's 34 movies that we can't believe were actually made.
What's number 1?
Jack and Jill.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
That is an unbelievably strange movie.
Yeah.
And Jared from Subway has a big cameo.
Oh, my God.
Before or after?
Yeah, after.
Well after.
Yeah.
2 of the top 5 movies in this 34 movies we can't believe got made are Farrelly Brothers movies.
Yeah.
Stuck on You is number 5 with Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear. I can't believe Soul Man's number 11. That's
Why?
a
Have you
super
watched Soul
racist
Man?
one. Yeah, it
Oh,
used to
you
be on
think it should
Comedy
be
Central
higher?
all the time. It should
Okay,
be number 1 easily.
Yeah, I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
that again
He
recently.
turns black and he's
Yeah.
like just super racist.
He takes a spot from a African American girl. He takes her scholarship, who's played by Gloria. What's her name?
Steinem.
No, not Gloria Steinem. But
It's Stefan.
no, the girl that plays the African American.
Oh.
Ray Dong Chung. So Ray Dong
Oh,
Chung.
Ray Dong Chong.
Yeah.
From The Color Purple.
Yes. Her and Spike Lee had like a battle about this, I guess, because she was like standing up for the movie and he's like said the obvious kind of critique of it. And they kind of went back and forth. And she said, actually, it's a good movie that is not racist.
They don't even attempt to make him pass.
Yeah.
They put an afro wig on him
Yeah.
and then make his skin a little dark.
Well, in the movie, he gets pills from a friend who is developing something to make it look like you have a tan. You could take pills.
Yeah.
So he just takes more of those pills. And he
so he
gets.
can pass as a black guy in order
It's
to get
insane.
into
The entire movie.
But he looks like a guy in blackface, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like you're in history class and then Al Jolson is sitting next to you. And then you're like, hey.
Rachel
that's what Rachel Dolezal
She
is
got away
doing,
with
yeah.
it for years.
Years.
And was like the head of the NAACP or something. at
NAACP.
The local chapter.
Yeah,
of
the
NAACP,
local
yeah.
chapter of the one up in
Did you
Washington.
see the Netflix documentary about her?
No.
I hate to say it, but it does humanize her. It's a really depressing documentary.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it makes you not really even want to make jokes about her. It's just a sad story. Anyway, back to the comedy. Number 2 at the box office, A Beautiful Mind. And this has gotten some blowback in recent years for some reason.
Why? Because he's crazy?
Ableist.
Ableist. He was too smart, so
Yeah.
it makes dumb people feel bad. There's something about he was a Nazi sympathizer or something.
Oh, Nash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Nash. The Jewish Journal wrote an anti-Semitic mind ? Was John Nash an anti-Semite, and should it affect the Oscars?
Oh, that was at the time.
Yeah, this is March 14, 2002.
What did he say? Or what did he do?
It didn't affect the Oscars at all, apparently, because it won Best Picture.
Yeah, the charges in question are based on quotes compressed in 2 pages of Sylvia Nassar's biography of Nash, on which the film is loosely based. Quote, the root of all evil, as far as my personal life is concerned, are Jews. In particular, John Bricker, apparently a colleague who, quote, is Hitler a trinity of evil?
Okay.
So that's pretty clear.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the number one movie at
Yeah.
the time. Any guesses?
Wait, 2002.
Right after the holiday season of 2001,
I was gonna say Shrek, but that's not.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
I hate those
I
movies.
hate those movies.
We all agree on this.
Yeah.
Have you watched them all?
I saw the first two in the theater.
Okay. I
Did
never
not
even read the books. I remember people went crazy about that in Harry Potter, and I never even dipped my toe in it, if you will.
It's all fantasy.
yeah, it's all nonsense.
Mumbo jumbo.
Well, let's get into some real shit, guys.
do it.
Let's do it.
So yeah, Ted Demme. Just to give some background on the fella, Ted Demme was born in New York in 1963. He grew up in Long Island and eventually went to SUNY Cortland.
State University of New York.
Yeah, that's what that stands for. I didn't know there was a Cortland one. This is like some crazy. There's a Buffalo and this Cortland place.
I almost went to SUNY Purchase.
Really? Where's that?
In Purchase, New York.
Where do they have all these?
It's like
these
way up in New
branches?
York State. Yeah, there's SUNYs everywhere. There's
Oh,
a bunch
really?
of them. Yeah.
So yeah, he actually graduated college in 1985. Overall, he was known as a very fun guy who loved hip hop and movies. So
Hip hop in 1985.
Yeah, the beginnings of hip hop.
So what was he listening to in 1985?
Well, I have an Ed Lover clip which kind of goes into because
Okay.
they kind of grew up together on Long Island and they hung out like into their teens and 20s and they actually worked later at MTV. So do you have that Ed Lover clip?
And that's a guy
That's
named
not in
Ed
here.
Lover, to be clear.
Yeah.
It wasn't his lover, Ed.
Yeah. Yes.
Ed Lover.
I'm going to send this to you, Kyle.
All right. Yeah, I have to admit, I didn't know Ted Demme by name, but I knew as soon as I looked him up all of his work, and never knew this whole time I was a crash test Demme. Alejandro looks physically hurt.
Fair.
Dare I ask you to explain
Oh, is that the name you were going to say for the podcast?
I'm making up a name of a fan base.
That's good.
Crash Test Demme.
We'll get some crash test Demmies out there.
Did he
Call
direct
in.
that video?
Yeah.
Is that where it comes from?
He did do some music videos. I sent that via email
Wait,
to you.
you're not going to explain it?
No, it's just something I made up.
Oh, you mean just because Demi sounds like dummy, that's it?
Yes, that's it.
There's no, he didn't direct like a
There's no other connection.
crash test dummy
Nope,
video?
literally
or-
nothing else.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Well, he
Alejandro really thought about that
he
one.
took a reach. Sometimes he gets swingy. They don't all hit home
Swing
runs.
and a miss.
Hey, Ed Lover.
You're out.
Sometimes they're grounders.
All right, this is the clip with Ed Lover talking about Ted Demme.
For people out there that don't know who Ted Demme is probably the most important person to me in my entire career because Ted Demme gave me my start on your MTV Raps. What a lot of people don't know is Ted and I know each other since high school. Ted was the coolest white boy I ever met. How I met Ted was my best friend Kurt and Ted's family were both Episcopalian. So Kurt's mom was very big in the Episcopalian community as a part of the Episcopalian Diocese of Long Island, and so was
What
Ted's
religion
father.
were they?
So every
I
time
think
that they would
that's
have
Christian,
these
Episcopalian,
religious
Christian.
retreats or
It was
what
kind of
have you,
weird.
I didn't
they would
catch
always
that.
Yeah.
tell Kurt, bring me along
Episcopalian.
just to calm Kurt down. And then Ted was out there, and we were running to Ted, and he knew so much about hip hop, like I couldn't believe it. It was up my alleyway, it was up his alleyway. So when
Up everyone's
Ted
alleyway.
and Peter Doherty, God rest both their souls, decided to bring Yo MTV Raps to America, that's how Ted and I connected again from college and everything else. And the rest is just history, man. He put me on and it was over.
Yeah.
I never heard someone say up my alleyway.
Yeah,
Right up my alleyway.
He's riffing and he goes on to riff some weirder stuff too. Like the Episcopalian stuff was like a lot of I'm like, all right, well Ted Demme is Episcopalian, I guess. I didn't know any of this stuff. Thank you, Ed Lover.
Yeah.
Ed Lover of the famous Ed Lover and Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre, not to be confused with the West Coast Dr. Dre.
Yeah, that was
Wait,
trash.
Producer.
Dr.
Are
Dre
you
that's
aware of
not
this
Dr.
are
Dre?
you
There's
aware
two
of this
Dr.
confusion?
Dre's.
What?
from the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The other one kind of looked like Big Pun. He was a big fat
Yeah,
guy.
big dude.
How did I not know this?
It annoyed the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I don't know who came up with it first, to be honest.
I know which one has more money.
Of course. Yeah, he's got like $1 billion.
I think it's Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre. One, I think, didn't he spell out his name, Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
and he
his
had
mistake.
an accent mark over the E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Those
outta
were
here.
two big errors.
Yeah.
Well, one was a big MTV guy, and one was just like a music impresario.
That's the other Dr. Dre.
Okay.
He was one of the hosts of Yo MTV Raps.
Got it.
Okay, so out of college, he gets a job as a PA at MTV. This is just as MTV's getting started. Like, they're not really a big thing until the late 80s. They're like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's like on the ground floor of it, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the start of Colin Quinn on Remote Control.
Well, he worked as a PA on
Adam
Remote Control.
Sandler,
Yeah.
Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
All that. John Stewart. Was he? That's a little early for
Jon Stewart was in and out of MTV.
Yeah.
I think the show he got before he got the Daily Show was a late night
Which would have
show on,
been later,
on
though.
MTV.
I think it was the Jon Stewart show.
Yeah.
It was the Jon Stewart show
that's
in like
more
92,
yeah,
93
a
or
little
something.
later,
Yeah. So he worked there for like given 5-6 years, something like that. Eventually a producer for Yo MTV Raps, which he created. He created the show. So before there was like some hip hop on MTV, not a lot, but he kind of like beefed up their presence in the hip hop community, creating the show Yo MTV Raps with that guy Peter Doherty that Ed Lover was talking about there. After he's doing this for a while, he decides, he wants to make a bigger move in the industry and become like a full-fledged director. So at this time, he creates this short called The Bet. And I have a little video here on The Bet.
In the script, we actually, we had written that there was a horse race actually shown, and then once we started shooting, we realized that we didn't have the money to shoot an actual race. How are we going to go to, we didn't know where we go, how we do it. So that whole final sequence of the camera moving very slowly into him was something that we came up by necessity because we couldn't cut away. And in doing that, I realized that it was much more interesting anyway to be on his face and to watch someone watching a race as opposed to watching the race. And hearing the race in the background. So sound design was very important. Vinny Pastore, the guy who plays the big thumb breaker, who's been in so many movies since then. He's actually been in 2 of my movies since we did The Bet, and we've remained friends. He walked into my casting session dressed like you see him in the movie. He's got, I believe, that orange shirt on and like this whole suit, and he was sipping a McDonald's cup, and he walked in, he was like, all right, who's the director in here? You're the director in here? All right, what's my lines? You got my lines? Come on, let me do the lines right now. All right, we're going right now. And like, go, and I was reading with him, I'm like, yeah, I don't have the money. You don't have the money, I'm going to break your thumb. I'm going to break everything. I'm going to do everything. I'm like, all right, good. All right, you got the part, man. Yeah, fine. Great. He goes, all right, thanks a lot. See you later. And left. And I was like, oh, man.
Does it go a little bit further, or is that?
Yeah, there's like another 5 minutes or so.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. Like in that also, at the tail end of that clip, it was called Shortcuts on PBS.
Yeah.
It's revealed that the host of that show is actually Louis C.K.
Oh, really?
Which I found interesting. But so pretty much he put this kind of short movie together in order to get himself like to show that he could be a good director. So after this, his first movie was called Who Is the Man? With Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. It was like some ridiculous hip hop comedy featuring those two guys and like
yeah. That was one of those VHS covers I saw at the
yeah,
time at
who is the
video
man?
store
Yeah, there's like a
growing up.
bunch of stuff going on. There's like a question mark.
Yeah, it was so early 90s style.
Oh, also during his days at MTV, he started creating these shorts with Denis Leary. Just black and white, just basically Denis Leary doing stand-up.
No Cure for Cancer.
Yeah, that came from
right.
these.
Yeah, from these. Yeah, he was able to
turned
prove
into that.
Yeah.
These are like super famous.
You know what I don't want on MTV? I'll tell you what. Aerosmith, Vanilla Ice, and Cher, okay? No Crosby, no Stills, no Nash. No bald guys, no fat guys,
Just
no
angry,
fat bald
crazy
guys. No
guy.
rock stars who look like history professors, okay? R.E.M., no. Marky Mark, no. PM Dawn, no. No half-hour comedy hour, no one-hour comedy hour. No rock, no jock, no Ed, no Dre, no Pauly, no Joyner. All I want is Cindy Crawford, okay? House of Style, 24 hours a day. No MTV news unless it's news about Cindy. What she's doing, what she's wearing, what she smells like, okay? No music unless it's songs about Cindy, okay? okay? I want half-hour specials about Cindy. I want hour-long documentaries about Cindy. I want Cindy unplugged. I want acoustic Cindy. I want long, drawn-out, slow-motion shots of Cindy walking, Cindy sleeping, Cindy eating an Eskimo pie naked on the roof of the Empire State Building, okay? I want to change the House of Style to the House of Cindy. Not MTV, CTV. No rock, no promos,
Okay,
no
I
Richard
need a
Gere, just me
breather.
and Cindy, okay?
Yeah.
I think you hear me knocking, Richard. And I think I'm coming in, and I got a box full of Eskimo
So he
pies.
did
with-
like a bunch of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Denis Leary. I thought he was,
I
I
do
liked
too.
him during the 90s. I liked him. After I heard that stuff where he was stealing kind of the
Bill
aura
Hicks.
in the Bill Hicks personality traits on
And a
stage.
direct story about that runner that died, but it was the exact same bit. They
Yeah.
both did it, and Denis Leary did it later.
It was
Oh,
in No
really?
Cure for Cancer.
That's what Ted Demme directed first. That he kind of he directed every single stand-up special by Denis Leary.
And the
Yeah.
I'm an asshole thing, which blew up. That's the one that Louis C.K.
That's the one allegedly-
accused him
yeah.
of stealing.
Louis also said a lot of people stole his shit.
Dane Cook.
Yeah.
Dan Cook, yeah, maybe that's more accurate, but I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. It was like the industry joke, though. Like, how did Denis Leary get away with stealing all of Bill Hicks' bits? Because there's no cure for cancer.
Very true.
So after that, he did like some music videos. He did Bruce Springsteen's "The Streets of Philadelphia"
For the movie Philadelphia.
for the movie Philadelphia. Yeah.
Directed by his uncle.
Jonathan Demme. How did he get that job? That's a big thing too with him. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I just all of a sudden I got this PA job at MTV," even though it sounds like a lowly kind of job. That's
It was
still
a hip
It's a
place to
really
work.
hard place to get a job. You know,
Yeah.
it's still Viacom, the big company. So I don't know. He does mention that whenever he's asked, like, how do you get in the industry? He never like shirks away, like the Coppolas, they changed their names to make it seem like they don't have family in the industry. But he kept his name.
He
told
practically changed his first name to Jonathan.
who? Ted?
Ted.
Yeah. But in what way? What are you talking about?
Did you get it, Kyle?
No.
No?
No.
No one got what I was cooking?
But do you want to explain that to us so we will get it?
It's almost not worth explaining.
Well, I would
Okay,
agree.
I guess the joke was he stopped just short of changing his name to Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
So that he would be Jonathan Demme, literally. And use the name to get work.
I get it now, and I kind of feel worse about it.
I didn't say it. Hey, they're not all winners. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's a clunker and you just got to move on.
As we're
I
finding
personally like Crash Test Demi better than that.
Crash Test Demme?
All right.
It rolls off the tongue. I don't know. I'm not trying to be partial in any way.
I'm not going to say anything bad about it.
Okay.
So I accept it.
Well, the Crash Test Demme could be the title of this. We
Hey!
don't know.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. So
That's true.
after he got all this kind of work under his belt, he's got some industry cred. He starts making some bigger, more official movies. He did The Ref, which I watched last night.
Oh, nice.
I love the ref.
The Ref was really good, but the ending was really quick. It was like rushed at the end. The kid was supposed to go with them, but he doesn't, and then he just kind of runs off and he says good luck to Denis Leary. And then Denis Leary gets in this kind of crickety boat and they just take off. It just seems very forced.
It's called the ref because he takes this family hostage and he ends up being a referee of sorts to all their bickering.
Yeah. A lot of one-liners
Yeah.
from Denis Leary, which is known for these movies.
When it was okay to like Kevin Spacey's work, it was a very funny role. And they paired him with Judy Davis, who's a great actress.
She's great. I was like, I didn't know that was her. She's
Yeah.
the same woman from Celebrity, from
Yeah.
Woody Allen's
Yep.
Celebrity. And she was great in The Ref. And I don't know why. I'm
Absolutely.
like, why do you not see this woman more?
It's
Yeah.
underrated, the movie, I think.
Say what you will about Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, it works.
Famous
The
last words of me. I
performance
get
works.
canceled off the show.
And
but he's
the
good.
ending, what you said about the ending,
Yeah.
I actually just read it on IMDb in the trivia that there was another ending in mind.
It makes sense.
That Denis Leary gets caught by the cops and shows that a life of crime is not worth it.
That would actually
Yeah.
make more sense to me, even though I know it's bullshit.
Ted Demme said he regretted not going with that ending.
It's his first movie. His
Mm-hmm.
first major movie. You can't really make big swings like that unless you're a more established director.
And it doesn't fatally hurt the movie or anything, the ending. It still works.
Yeah. Well, people are already watching at that point, so, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
After that, he does Beautiful Girls, which is also a classic in my mind. Great movie with Matt Dillon and Michael Rappaport.
Natalie Portman.
Uma
Thurman.
Kind of a icky role.
With Natalie Portman, you think? Yeah. Well, anytime she's in a movie...
There's kind of a romance between her and the Timothy Hutton character.
Anytime she's in a movie in the 90s, there's some weird relationship with adult male with her.
Yes.
You know, like Leone and The Professional, whatever, also.
Yeah.
After that, he follows it up with Monument Ave in 1998, which is...
Monument Ave, dude.
One of my favorite Boston movies ever made.
Never heard of it.
Monument Ave is actually an avenue in a section of Boston called Charlestown, which my grandparents are from, actually. And we have an old funeral home there still. And
oh, yeah. You got to tell the audience about that funeral home someday.
Yeah, well, I have more details. I can't really divulge to the public, which, there's no statute of limitations. I don't know if that's gone yet, but I don't want to.
Okay, we can move on. But so when you saw Monument Avenue, you recognized your area.
Yeah, well, you recognize a lot of like local Boston actors. They have like a stable of people that's in every Boston movie, basically.
Oh, really? Who are some of the...
Lenny Clark. He's like a big stand-up there who's in like most of the movies that come in and out.
Yeah.
This guy, Kevin Chapman, who's one of the Savage brothers from Mystic River. He's in that too.
Oh, Lenny Clark. He was in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that yet.
And he's in the Dennis Leary shows, always The Job.
Yeah. Rescue Me.
Rescue Me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Dennis Leary is the main character. It's just a movie that kind of follows a car thief who has his friend murdered, but I don't want to give too much away. I hate doing spoilers.
It's a really good
But
cast
Billy
here.
Crudup is in it, and Billy Crudup is fucking amazing in it. There's a clip.
Debbie.
Where do you want me to start it?
Just start it here.
Okay.
How long you been out?
I just got back.
Snorting coke.
Look at you. Great to see you.
Yeah. Hey. Anything I need to know?
No, about what? No. I'm fucking back.
Teddy.
What? What?
You know what? Take some money. Do me a favor.
What are you doing? Fuck that. What the fuck? I'm not going down to the cave. I'm not going down to the fucking cave. I got nothing to fucking hide, Bobby.
You know what you're doing?
Look at me. I got nothing to fucking hide. Come on, let's get a beer. I'm dying of thirst here.
Billy Crudup, he seems like an uncle of mine in that movie. He's so good.
He disappears into his
He really
roles
does.
because he's almost famous, the lead guitarist, and Jesus' son.
Yeah, he just seems like in that movie, like Dennis Leary's like catching up with him, and he's like the Boston guy. I don't know. It's just such a good movie. What else did I want to say about that? Oh, well, I guess this is like a big culmination of like, he does the movie Life too. You know,
forgettable Eddie Murphy comedy.
Very forgettable. I don't even know what that was all
brutal.
about.
And a very generic name, Life.
Life, yeah. It doesn't even mean anything. Is
about
it the
prison.
magazine? Is it a movie?
Right.
Who gives a
Is
shit?
this profound, or is it just a stupid Eddie
Should I
Murphy
care about
comedy
this?
that you're going to skip?
And Martin Lawrence. So at this point, he's got some bankability as a director. You know, a lot of the studios are like, this could be a bankable director, and he seems to be pretty good at what he's doing. Because these are all great movies in my mind. Minus Life. I think, you know,
not Life.
Yeah, Life is not great. So
it sure isn't.
At this point, this is the story behind his next movie, which is Blow.
About Weymouth, Massachusetts.
About Weymouth. Oh yeah, that's
really?
right.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
I forgot that too. Not that I knew Weymouth at the time.
Where I graduated high school, Weymouth, Mass.
Well, if you know the backstory, I'll just go right into it. George Jung of Weymouth,
Boston George,
known
he
as
goes
the
by.
Boston George.
Yeah, because Weymouth George doesn't fit as good.
Well, he said that's what he said. Did you see that interview? Yeah,
No.
he said he moved out to Huntington Beach, California, and he yelled up to a bunch of girls that were like topless or something, and they were like, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "I wasn't gonna say Weymouth because no one knows Weymouth."
Yeah.
So he said Boston, and my name's George, so hence the name Boston George. He's always went by.
George.
So if anyone doesn't know, Blow is the movie of a guy who moved to Los Angeles, and he started dealing weed at first.
Yeah.
So he's dealing a ton of weed, and then he's like, how do I make more money? And he had contacts of colleges all over the country. He took a flight down to Mexico with a plane that he stole, like a Cessna, like a small little plane. And he just started asking village people if they had marijuana for him to sell in the United States.
Oh my god.
So
Wow.
he found a contact and he was able to kind of go back and forth and started selling weed throughout the entire United States at all these colleges and stuff. And I think majority was at UMass.
Oh my god.
So he's like shipping all this weed from like the border of Mexico into all the way up to the University of Massachusetts, which is crazy. And then after that, he got arrested, went to prison, and then while in prison, his roommate was a Colombian drug lord, basically, like a cousin of a Colombian drug lord, where he learned how to start selling cocaine. So when he got out, he eventually worked his way all the way up through the Colombian drug cartel to be the right-hand man of Pablo Escobar. The actual name of the book is called Blow, How a Small Town Boy Made $100 Million with the Medellin Cocaine Cartel and Lost It All. So this book, Denis Leary was making 2F in Canada, and he came across this book.
He's the one that found the book.
He found the book in Canada, making 2F.
That's forgettable Sandy Bullock rom-com.
Yeah, that no one tends to care about or has seen.
I saw it.
Oh, did you? That was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Denis read it and told Ted about it, who brought it to New Line and got it greenlit and got Nick Cassavetes to write a script for it. They got a budget of $53 million, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
And eventually it made $83 million.
Very good movie.
It's an amazing movie. I think we have a clip on him on Charlie Rose. Him on Charlie Rose talking about it.
Is Charlie Rose wearing clothes?
Yeah, for once.
Yeah, because he's talking to a guy.
There's no young assistant in the room, so.
Hello.
I know you.
I don't think so.
No? Why are you smiling?
Why are you smiling?
I don't know.
I'm pleased to welcome Ted Demme back to this table. Welcome back.
Thank you, Charlie.
First of all, this is a true story. Denis Leary says, look at this book, and you said...
Yeah, no, he gave it to me 6 years ago, and he goes, you're not going to believe this story. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I read it right away, because he's pretty threatening. Yeah. But so I read it, and I just couldn't believe the story of an all-American boy, grew up in, Massachusetts, high school football.
Say Weymouth.
All-American, the life of the party, Mr.
Say fucking Weymouth.
Pablo Escobar's right-hand man. I was like, wow, I need to figure it out.
Man, there was some scene there where Escobar, he says he couldn't believe that this guy that George had been able to distribute all that.
It sounds like he's snorting blow.
Like literally.
24 hours. He said, no, 3 days.
3 days.
He's acting it out.
6 months.
I know. There was a market for it. I mean, George is in the either the right place at the wrong time or the wrong place at the right time. He was in prison in '72, and there's a line in the movie. I think you remember that he said because I went into college jail as a crime school. I knew with a bachelor of marijuana and came out with a doctorate in cocaine, and that's where they figured it out.
Interesting characters. Tell me first about Johnny Depp, who plays George. Oh, no, before I go to that.
Sure.
Where's George today?
George is in Otisville Federal Correctional Facility in upstate New York.
George is dead.
Went and saw him yesterday.
Did he die?
Yeah.
And he was released in 2014.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
On a 7-inch monitor with.
George Jung actually loved the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Who didn't love the movie?
I think there was some contrarian movie reviewers out there, like Richard Roper or some assholes or something that had something to say. There were some.
You're right. It wasn't unanimously considered a great movie at the
some
time.
Some people, they would go on to say it was good, but it wasn't the landmark movie that some other people said it was.
I have the Rotten Tomatoes open up right now. And yeah, it's very mixed, hovering around 50%.
Really?
David Edelstein says, an extraordinary and unfathomable piece of whitewashing. What does he care? It's a movie,
Well, I think I heard Nick Cassavetes said he went to George Jung and said, I want to make the movie that is from your point of view and kind of reflects what you think about what happened here. These fucking hall monitor pussies that are like giving out reviews like this, they're part of the problem.
Oh my God, even Ebert said, take away the drugs. And this is the story of a boring life in wholesale. He was wrong on
It is about drugs.
It's called Blow.
Yeah. But Peter Travers of Rolling Stone had the right idea. He said, smart, sexy, funny, and dangerous. This high wire act is a movie and a half.
Yeah.
It was huge in Weymouth. Everyone was talking about
Oh,
it.
it was huge though. A lot of places.
Yeah, I'm
because-
sure.
Well, wait a minute. That's the hometown.
And you have Johnny Depp at the height of his
Yeah.
career, Paul Rubens,
And the guy who-
Penelope Cruz, and
She's amazing.
really a breakthrough role for.
And the guy
American
who plays the
movies.
roommate, the Colombian guy, he's so good too.
Mhm.
The one who gets totally strung out.
Right.
They like fight on that island and stuff. And
And Ray Liotta again.
Ray Liotta is
Yep.
amazing in that.
And Rachel Griffiths
Rachel
from
Gri-
6
yeah,
Feet
I
Under
didn't
as
know
the
she
mom.
she was Australian. And then
Yeah.
because I heard like an interview with her talking about how she loved hugging Johnny Depp in the movie as the mother, which is kind of creepy.
Did you know that she's 8 years younger than Johnny Depp?
Well, get out of here.
And she plays his mom.
Well, they do age her in the movie
Yeah.
purposely. So
Yeah, he died actually this year. George Jung.
did he?
Yeah, May 5th, 2021. He actually died in Weymouth, which is crazy.
Holy shit!
Yeah, went back home.
Jeez.
Who says you can't go home?
Boy, from the earth back to the earth.
Going home to die.
So yeah, at this point, you know, after this movie, he's red hot as a director. He could basically do anything. I think he had this passion project that he was working on called A Decade Under the Influence. I don't know if you remember this. It was on IFC, but it was like a documentary about 70s filmmakers and the craziness, like we've talked about, you know, John Cassavetes and like all those dudes that made very dangerous movies.
Oh, I saw that movie, Decade Under the Influence.
What do you think?
Loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
I saw it in the theater, actually.
Really?
I was visiting my siblings in Madison at the time, Madison, Wisconsin,
Ooh.
and that was playing at the Orpheum Theater.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought it was so cool to see this movie that showed all these great clips of 70s movies
Yeah.
and to see it all in the theater. So they were showing clips of Brian De Palma's Hi Mom and Easy Rider. It was very exciting to see it all on the big screen.
When movies were more exciting.
Yes,
But I feel
absolutely.
like the 90s were like a regeneration. It was the people that were inspired by those 70s people. Paul Thomas Anderson, Ted Demme, all these, Quentin Tarantino, obviously.
Yeah.
They started making movies, but like were more slick versions of those 70s movies, basically.
Yes.
And they were heavily
That's
inspired
true.
by those 70s maniacs, basically.
Yeah. Oh my. There's a scene where in one of the interviews, the old guy, Bruce Dern,
Yeah.
he's like, one thing about us, we were interesting.
Yeah. That's obnoxious, but yeah, we get what he's trying to say. Like, yeah. You know, we had balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
You couldn't take your eyes off us.
That show I've been watching, Dinner with Friends, we'll show a clip in a second of a separate thing. But there was an old Burt Reynolds thing saying, like, there's no men in movies anymore. And in that panel is like 5 men that are currently working in movies.
It's just Johnny Depp.
Yeah, a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
He goes, you guys are all right.
Yeah. But yeah, that movie does do a good job of encapsulating the 70s
and then
cinema.
finding out why it burnt out, because all these 70s movies, their budgets started getting completely insane.
Yeah.
And that's what led to kind of the downfall of that system. Okay, so January 13th, 2002, Ted is playing basketball at a charity event with a bunch of other celebrities. I think Michael Rappaport was there. It's a real who's who.
Yeah.
Who cares?
He's been around so long now, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah. So at this event, he's playing basketball, you know, full court, which a guy in his shape, maybe not the smartest thing to do after a night out, because I guess he was partying the night before and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, explain that. What do you mean by his shape?
You know, he just wasn't in the best shape. He was just kind of
Heavy set guy.
Heavy set guy, a little stocky.
Big burly.
Big burly. He, you know, he didn't play basketball a lot, clearly. And if you're just all of a sudden going from doing nothing to like editing
Full
movies
court.
for like 9 hours, like
Yeah.
12 hours, and then playing full court basketball and just trying to keep up. That running,
After you did coke
after you did coke
the
night
whole
before.
night before?
Yeah. They found traces of cocaine in his system. And I think you can't really gauge how much cocaine a person's doing the night before.
Yeah, it gets metabolized pretty quickly.
Even if he was doing it, you can hide it. Like, weed lasts in your system forever. I
Yeah.
learned this
Yeah.
by doing drug tests for the post office when I was like 21 years old.
Oh, nice.
What, you were pissing in a cup or you were like performing the drug tests?
I was pissing in the cup.
Oh, yeah.
And I was worried because I was a casual carrier. I worked in the summers as a postman in Massachusetts. And
the postman.
I was a postman.
Keeping it casual.
Yeah, it's pretty casual.
Are you trying to say you could do blow while you were doing your paper route?
I've seen people do.
Paper route.
I've seen people work office jobs in Boston snorting cocaine at their cubicle.
Oh, boy.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
It's how you get through the day.
Yeah.
Whatever blows your hair back.
That, what do they call it? That 2:30 feeling?
Yeah, exactly. 2:30.
There's no 2:30 when you do blow. Hello. Whoa.
Alejandro does ads for Blow.
Yeah.
The movie only, though.
So I guess the official coroner said that the cocaine may have been a factor in his heart attack as he already had thickened heart arteries.
Oh, he did.
So he wasn't treating himself good. Based on that Ed Lover interview from earlier, it goes on to say he would drink night and day.
Oh, boy.
Like he was a
He
lunatic.
looked like he drank a lot.
And I don't think he had a healthy diet either. So that whole equation of not being healthy, doing cocaine the night before, playing full court basketball after being like not really 100% in shape, that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
They ruled it an accidental death. Obviously.
Well, he wasn't murdered.
Well,
Michael Rappaport didn't throw the basketball at his chest on purpose, did he?
He wasn't getting in Beautiful Girls too, so he was.
He got his ankles broken so hard.
Yeah.
They charged Michael Rappaport with murder.
Yeah.
That's how bad he was. Yeah, so they found small amounts of cocaine.
What you're saying doesn't really mean anything. He could have been doing a ton of cocaine.
Yeah.
It probably means that he was doing a lot since it's metabolized so quickly. And if it's already
the fact that it was there.
Whatever, 2 p.m. the next day.
Yeah.
That's probably at least, 12 hours of not doing coke. And then you're still finding it in your system. It's
That's
like,
not good.
You might have been doing a lot.
Yeah, so a week later, he was remembered at the 59th Golden Globes when actor Kevin Spacey
from the ref
asked the audience to toast him. So Kevin Spacey
That was
gets
nice
a,
of him.
It was, yeah,
He was just looking for which young guys were holding up a drink.
Yeah.
He's drinking, I'm going to get him. He's drinking, I'm going to get him.
Hey, kid, why aren't you drinking yet?
Did you see my tribute to Ted Demme earlier?
You see me in the ref? You want to see me tonight?
You want to make some American Beauty?
You want to look closer down my pants? That's an American Beauty reference.
That was the tagline. Very obscure reference there, Mark.
For AB heads out there, American Beauty heads.
You want to kiss me in the rain?
Like Chris Cooper?
I didn't get it for a second. Now I get it. I'm like, Kiss the Rain, like the song?
Military man.
Kiss the rain.
Turned homosexual. Kiss me in the rain.
You want to know who Kaiser Soze is? He's in my pants.
Hey.
You want to see where I got this limp?
Kaiser Soze.
I'll give you a limp,
I'll
too.
give you a limp tomorrow.
I'll give you a limp for a week.
Yeah, you'll be walking to your parents' car a little differently tomorrow if you know what I mean.
You want to see a real ref? It's right here.
Make you tap out.
Before you tap in. I do have a clip, that Dinner with Friends clip.
All right.
It started at 11:14. Por favor.
Ted Demme. Ted was a blast.
I worked for him on Beautiful Girls for
That's right.
about maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks. And so I wasn't around very much, but he had a really nice set. He really did.
Martha Plimpton.
It was fun.
Smoking a cigarette indoors.
He was a good man.
These are the days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was,
Cheers.
yeah, here's the Ted.
Here's the Teddy.
John Favreau.
Yeah, he did, actually, Teddy did all of my stand-up specials.
That's
He
right.
directed all those as well.
Dennis Leary, of course.
He was. I found out about Ted when we had heard a rumor about it during a break of when I was shooting a show, because Mike Rappaport was supposed to be on the show and didn't show up. And he was with him, and we had heard that he was with somebody who died on a golf course. That's all we had heard.
Golf course.
And slowly the story sort of trickled down that maybe it was Ted, and I'm afraid it was Ted. And all the producers on the show, I met them because I did Escape from Hollywood with Ted.
Right,
and I had this idea for this show.
Don't make it
I was
about you,
looking on
John.
the internet,
How
and
do
I
you
said, this is such
confuse a
cool
golf ball
environment.
with a basketball?
We used to do Escape from Hollywood. You just talk about movies. It was very informal, and he was such an ingratiating guy.
Yeah, Michael was the guy who called me from the hospital, because he was on the bench with Teddy when Teddy
Yeah, he told me
collapsed.
the story. It just happened right in front of him. And Michael was supposed to come, and we ended up shooting with 4 people. And I sort of found out, and it was just, we didn't know if it was true, and then by the end of the show, we found out that it was because rumors are weird in Hollywood.
You never know, right?
You never know.
You never
I actually
know.
driving to the hospital thought
They are
Michael
weird.
was wrong.
Just ask Kevin
I was
Spacey.
in LA doing a press conference for the TV show, actually, and I was supposed to go to meet Teddy for dinner after the basketball game. So when Michael called, he just sounded so crazy. I just thought, well, you know what? I'm going to drive to the hospital.
Crazy
He
anyway.
gave me the address of the hospital. Just driving over.
Not
I
a
thought,
difference
this
from any other
probably
day.
doesn't know what he's talking about. So I thought he probably just fainted or something from what I got from Michael until I got there, and then I saw Michael outside. And you can just tell when everything's okay or it's everything. People will say something to you immediately. When they don't say anything, that's when you know, uh-oh. So I felt really bad for Michael because then he had to tell that story. He had to tell everybody, the people, that night. Then when the guys from New York came.
How about you feel bad for
a few days later,
Teddy?
it's the thing of,
Who
like,
died.
tell me what happened. So
Don't feel bad for Rappaport. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Poor bastard, you got to tell this story to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I really
did
felt
you
for the guy.
cope with having to tell the story?
Yeah. But yeah, as you could see there, he was very well liked by the industry as a whole. And in Punch Drunk Love and The Truth About Charlie, his uncle Jonathan's movie, he got special dedications to.
Mm-hmm.
So Ted Demme was survived by his wife Amanda and their 2 young children.
That's sad. He had 2 young children.
Amanda, she was like everything, she's like a photographer, producer, you name it. And she ran several LA bars. And there's a Teddy's in the Roosevelt Hotel right now, which is named after him.
Oh.
It's a bar that his wife is the owner of.
Wow.
Yeah. So his last movie, A Decade Under the Influence, was actually finished by Denis Leary and that guy, Richard LaGravenese. And I think they finished it up because it was like half done at the time of his passing. So his wife actually did a very weird documentary that I was not able to find called Looking for Ted Demme, in which she brings his ashes around and everyone does a interview in front of his ashes.
What?
I definitely heard about this movie.
You can find promos online and stuff, but there's no actual documentary, probably because
Really? It never ended up going through?
No,
Should I just play this trailer?
Play the trailer, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Welcome to my set. I'm the director, Ted Demme.
A guy who you felt, immediately like, oh, I've known this guy forever.
Ted Demme was, as everybody knows, he was a real actor's director.
I mean, it's just a total life.
Harvey Weinstein.
Everybody was happy. Everybody was laughing.
Good guy.
Full of energy.
He was fun.
Really laid back.
He was just amazing to work with.
He loved everything in life so much.
What did you work with him on?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ted and I never really worked together on any film, but that's
Oh,
what I hear
what?
about him.
Steve Buscemi.
It's funny how he just kind of disappeared.
He's dead.
Can we start over?
What the
Oh my God.
This is a comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy.
Oh my
It's a
God.
mockumentary.
I
Documentary.
have the chance to spend a day with Teddy's ashes and be able to take
They did
him
not
out,
make
do
that
whatever they
clear
wanted
from the
with him.
tone of
It's
the
kind of
No.
a unique and interesting goodbye trip for Teddy. It's like one last time around the bases, so to speak, with his friends.
Huh.
A friend of ours' name was Ted. He died, actually died playing basketball.
Oh my God.
I want to welcome Ted Demme here. Put his headphones on.
Wow.
Have a nice show, man.
Actually, this seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's go, dog. Let's go.
Maybe it would be cool. I
It's
don't
kind
know.
of like a 2-hour Geener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One long Geener.
And I was thinking that during the beginning of the trailer, like, did Steve Buscemi star
I
in
was
any one
trying
of
to
Ted Demme's
put it
movies?
together. Maybe he was like, he got cut out of Beautiful Girls or something. Or
Yeah. Right. He was supposed to be the ref at first.
Yeah.
Leary stole another thing.
Yeah. Well, Leary was supposed to be the George Jung character. That's what he pitched to Ted Demme.
Oh, that's what was his initial reason.
Why would he
for-
say, "Hey, I want someone else to be in this"? He's
Right,
like,
that's
"I want to
true.
be in this fucking shit."
Wow.
Yeah, totally different movie.
Totally different movie.
They gave it to Demme, but not Dennis. That's
They're not
funny.
going to give $58 million or $53 million for Dennis
No
Leary to be a
way.
lead. I'm sorry.
No
Yeah.
way.
He's like an ensemble cast guy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is not, if anyone's out there expecting this to be like a murder mystery and like, we're gonna solve it in the end. That's pretty much not this story. It's just a good director that died too young. He died at the tender age of 38 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the death description was like 10 seconds. He was dribbling the basketball, then he's dead.
Pretty much.
He did
Yeah.
some
Well,
coke.
that's it.
living it up as the Blow director doing Blow.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, in that Charlie Rose interview, I don't know if you guys heard the sniffs there. That like he was doing that a couple times. I don't know.
Charlie
Rose
was
doing it too.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, Charlie was like,
maybe it was actually Charlie Rose. And I thought it was Ted because I heard them and I'm like, whoa, someone's sniffing. There.
Yeah.
And Charlie Rose. Play it again. Play the part where he sniffs. He seems
Yeah,
like
you
he
have to
just
see
did
this.
Blow in the clip because he's all discombobulated.
Maybe they did a couple bumps in the green room together.
Yeah, because
or
remember
something.
that part where he's like, let's talk about Johnny Depp. Oh, wait, no. Let's talk about this first.
Yeah.
Just like a cokehead
Like
would be talking your ear off.
scatterbrain,
Scatterbrain, exactly.
Man, there was some scene there where Ascovari says he couldn't believe that this guy had the George.
There you go.
Oh, I thought that was Teddy. Holy shit!
And he said, you did this. That George had been able to distribute all that.
Yeah.
In 3 days.
He's doing bumps in the middle
It's like
of the interview.
he was refilling his oxygen tank or something.
I know. He was right-hand man. I was like, had the George had been able to distribute all that.
They were doing bumps. They were key and
And listen to what he says next.
6 months.
I
to do
know.
it.
I know.
Interesting characters. Tell me first about Johnny Depp, who plays George. Oh, no, before I go to that.
Whoa, scatterbrain.
George today.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Federal facility in upstate New York.
How about this 9/11 shit?
Clearly coked up and possibly.
What do you think about that
horny.
20th hijacker? What do you think about Tower 5? You think someone's in on it? What do you think? You think George Bush?
And the magic bullet. Who was the second shooter for Kennedy?
Yeah. You think Israel? You think they're in on it? What do you think's going on here?
Larry Silverstein had all the insurance out, all right? What do you think, huh?
You think my balls are too wrinkly or what?
Jet fuel doesn't melt balls or steel. What do you think about that? Hold on, I got two more ideas coming up.
You like my interns?
I've already had them. What do I want to say? Oh, there was another Charlie Rose with Don Simpson years ago. I don't want to play it now, but he is coked up out of his fucking mind.
Oh my god.
We always say this on the podcast, but that is going to be an upcoming episode.
It's an upcoming, so I don't want to go too far down that road.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you sound like Charlie Rose over there.
Yeah.
Well, you can't say that Ted Demme didn't have a good time while he was around.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting career, going from MTV Raps
And
to Blow.
He was like a legacy person because of his uncle and stuff. Super talented guy.
Yeah.
Seemed like a nice guy. Seemed like he was well liked, and he did a lot of pranks and stuff. That was his big thing too. I guess he made a lot of prank phone calls as John Woo to various studio heads.
Oh,
yeah.
I'd like to hear that.
It's later on in the Dinner with Friends thing, but some might consider it racist.
That's why I want to hear it.
Let's see.
I heard the one
Hilarious.
where he would call up and pretend he was Harvey Weinstein.
He'd pretend he was a Chinese. My favorite part of the day was when you, especially if he got you, but if he got your cell phone, the message thing, he would pretend he was a Chinese delivery guy, and he'd go on for like minutes in this Chinese, and sometimes he'd call, he had this great thing we used to do called the John Woo speech, where we would call up and he'd pretend that we were John Woo. You know what I mean? And we go, it's John Woo, I do a movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and fuck you!
Oh my God.
He used to call up once a month. This is like for the last 15 years. He'd call up and he'd get a voice, like sometimes he'd call up and he'd have like a Middle Eastern accent, but he'd be from a university and he had a questionnaire he wanted to go through, and she was such a nice lady, she wouldn't want to hang up. And the game for him was to see how long he'd get his ma to go. And she said sometimes for 15 minutes she'd be answering these questions, and he'd start laughing, and she'd go, Teddy, and he'd go, bye-bye, and hang up on it.
Those were the days.
Wow.
So back to that Charlie Rose clip. It sounded like Ted Demme was a little phlegmy.
Flemmy Demme.
Was he related to Lemmy?
Hey.
From Motorhead?
Yeah.
The Ted Demigorgons. Is that another fan? That's a Stranger Things reference as well as.
Oh, anyway.
Names.
Yeah. Might as well give us some Lord of the Rings references here.
The Demigods.
Did Ted Demme ever win an Emmy?
Yes, he did.
Kyle?
No, he did. He did actually.
Oh, he
win an
did?
Emmy. Yeah,
For what?
for directing a made-for-TV movie or something.
Oh, cool.
Ted Demme had a semi.
Because of all
'Cause
the
the
blow.
coke? Yeah.
In the movie High Learning, Michael Rappaport was Remy.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. And did Ted know Demme more, that is?
I bet you he did.
Kuchar is like, leave her alone. She's mine.
It's Kutcher.
All I know is Roald Dahl is correct.
Yeah, well, it says some of our fans on
Yeah.
Instagram.
The internet's backing me up.
Yeah.
Take that, fellas.
Final thoughts.
Talented guy, lost
Yeah.
too soon. Shit happens. Don't do cocaine. Don't play full court basketball after a night of doing cocaine.
That's more like it, yeah. If you're going to do it, don't just wake up, roll out of bed, and think you could play full court. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
It ain't gonna happen, especially at 38, dude.
It killed Len Bias, for Christ's sake.
Well, I don't know what happened. That must have
Cocaine?
been a bad strain, though. Like,
Yeah, it could have been.
That's what scared me my entire life. Not that I ever, did drugs like that, but like he did it the first hit, he was dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's this?
Len Bias. He was a
He was going to be
first
like the Michael Jordan for the Celtics.
first round draft pick.
In 1986, the year I was born.
Hey, me too.
Wow.
And Reggie Lewis died for the Celtics on the court.
Yeah.
It was a heart condition, but I think he might have done cocaine as well.
So that's the moral of the story, obviously. Don't play basketball and do blow.
coke. Yeah. Friend says he used cocaine with Reggie Lewis. That's from the LA Times in 95.
Holy moly.
Doctors link cocaine use to Lewis's death. Yeah.
All right.
Is Ted Demme where's he from?
He is from Long Island.
But did all these Boston movies and shows and
Yeah, I think his relationship with Dennis Leary kind
Yeah.
of drove him up there to do all the stuff.
Boston basketball and cocaine does not mix, apparently.
Can I introduce a
No, kids,
conspiracy
stay away.
theory?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think that Michael Rappaport murdered Ted Demme.
Okay, go on.
Because he wanted to be the white guy associated with hip hop?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He threw the basketball at Demme when he wasn't looking, and the rest is history.
Well, I thought maybe Dennis Leary might have done it because he got left out of Blow, and that was like a
Hey.
huge movie that would have made him an international superstar.
That's a better theory.
Yeah. In the movie that he brought to him, and then once New Line said, yeah, we'll do it, but no Dennis Leary, he's like, all right, let's go. Sorry, Dennis. Johnny Depp is the guy, and this is it.
And then to clear the suspicion, he goes on dinner with friends acting like
Yeah, they were buddy.
they were big buddies.
Yeah, even though he's really crying over Michael Rappaport having to tell the story and
Yeah.
not really his
Poor
friend.
guy.
And who gave him the cocaine?
Yeah.
It was from Worcester, Massachusetts, I heard.
They were all feeling bad for Rappaport to have to tell the story.
To clear that up, Dennis Leary is from Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester.
And he didn't kill Ted Demme.
No, Ted Demme just...
Nor
he
did Michael Rappaport.
died from poor decisions and like a freak thing, which all contributed to his death.
A freak thing, doing a bunch of blow and not sleeping much, and then playing an intense celebrity basketball game.
Or living unhealthy for 20 years.
Okay, so
that's it.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Death in Entertainment.
YouTube.
Twitter, DIEPod 2021.
And YouTube, as Kyle mentioned.
Send us an email at deathandentertainment@gmail.com.
Let us know how you pronounce any of the names that we've pronounced in the podcast so far.
Yeah.
And if you know any more words that rhyme with Demme, we would like to hear about it.
Ted Demme should have drove a Hemi.
All right, guys, don't go dying on us. Have a nice week.
Stay
See you next
healthy.
week.
Bye.
You have just heard.
A true Hollywood murder mystery.
I have never seen anything like this before.
The movies, Broadway, music, television, all of it.
A place that manufactures
nightmares.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Good night. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.